Hi, welcome to FedScoop TV. I'm Whitney Wyckoff. Here with you now at the Social Innovation Summit is John Johnson. John is Enterprise Mobility Program Manager at GSA. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Sure. So how has your job and the mission of your agency been impacted by the tsunami of data washing over government?
Okay, so when I was looking this over, I won't get caught up in tsunami. Where we work in a procurement environment,
Yeah.
right? And so when it comes to data, that's been our primary focus, is what to do with procurement data.
Okay.
Now, the data that's out there now is at an aggregate level, which is, right, so it means that DHS or DOJ or agency or sub-agency or bureau X, Y, or Z purchased something from somebody for a total amount.
Okay.
And it never, our systems and our processes never broke that data down. So it's always at the aggregate level. And so we're shifting away from that, though.
Yeah.
The entire federal government is shifting away from it. In part, that's driven by the FITARA legislation, but also it's being driven by the FITARA implementation through OMB. We at GSA now are working with agencies and working with OMB to create those systems and structures so that more of that nuanced item level data ends up being captured so that we can then sort of analyze, assess, and begin making more data-driven decisions as it comes to the purchasing habits of the government.
Okay, interesting. What changes would you like to see in your agency that would make using data more useful to your job specifically, and also to the overall mission?
That's actually, okay, so that's a really good question. Here's the danger of the way that procurement information can be used.
Okay.
Is once that line item information ends up being captured, to make a comparison based on just, say, for example, pricing alone is actually a very disingenuous comparison to make.
Okay.
Because more often than not, pricing and price strategies on the part of industry are a function and a result of requirements, terms, and conditions of a contract. So it is very difficult to make an apples-to-apples comparison on that.
Yeah.
What we as a government and what we as an agency and are going to need to do is capture subject matter expertise when it comes to acquisitions. And GSA has a lot of that.
Yeah, sure.
So that algorithms can be developed in order to more intelligently assess the data that we're capturing. Because otherwise, you're making false assumptions of that data.
Right.
And with false assumptions comes poor decisions. And poor decisions at the worst. I mean, you could also think of it as creating a tenuous environment between government and industry when it comes to sensitive information. And for industry, sensitive information includes pricing, price proposals, and their pricing strategy.
Interesting. Now, what's one tool or a program or a platform that's made the biggest difference for you in handling data?
This is great, because I don't even need these notes.
Yeah.
The part of the answer to that question actually goes back to the first question that you asked.
Okay.
In GSA, we've engaged in a category management effort.
Right.
And people have been hearing about category management from OMB.
Yeah.
But what does that mean over at GSA? It means everything that I said in response to question number one and question number two. We have a team, we have a couple teams in GSA that are approaching this, actually. One, a category management program office, and then within my section, and then within our group, under Mary Davey in the IT category, we've got a particular group in portfolio management who actually serves as a go-between, who takes in data and helps assess that data so that categories, spend, pricing can be intelligently assessed and identified. They've been using Tableau in particular to do a lot of visualization and data visualization as it comes to category spend across the government. And you know, they're not only really good and really competent, but they can make that tool sing to provide some insights into what's happening from a procurement standpoint within each category within government. It's pretty cool.
Interesting, interesting. Well, you've given us some interesting things to think about, John. Thanks so much for dropping by and taking the time to chat with us.
Oh, my pleasure.